Have you heard Vultures by Kanye and Dolla ign? If you have, was it good? What up, words? Your boy Charles Brown back again talking facts. Hit the like button, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. Go over to CLBMG.com. Let your boy know what you think about it. Listen, I took a oath to never listen to Kanye albums ever again. I think I said that after Life of Pablo, which I did not think was a bad album, but I had to listen to Ye. I did an album review on my album review channel, and that was the exact last album I listened to. I thought the album was absolutely awful, and it was regressing into a space where I didn't think he was doing artistry anymore. I believe that was the album that Drake said he wrote on, and then a beef broke out right after that album. And Drake was like, "I'll never write for this guy again," and they whatever. But I stopped messing with Kanye for quite some time now, and it just has gotten progressively worse. And I did not listen to Vultures. I'm just going to be honest. For the people who clicked this to hear or thought this was a reaction to Vultures, I honestly, truly want to know what people think of the Vultures album, because I'll never hear it. And I'm almost certain that it's absolutely garbage. The reason that I'm asking is because I want to know what the people are thinking. There are a whole bunch of Kanye stans who are going to straight up say this is amazing. I've already seen it on Twitter. I've already seen it on Instagram. I've already seen the stans barely halfway through the album saying it is the greatest piece of work. I don't want to hear from the stands, right? You have a voice, but make your voice make some sense when you speak about this album and you speak about this man's music. Because if you're not objective, if you're just going on, I love Kanye, everything he does is awesome, then I probably, your opinion really probably don't really matter that much. And I'm going to be honest, some people who are way too young to have a dog in this fight for real, and they just see Kanye as this awesome artist who's so extremely talented and he's changing the world, and we probably not going to vibe either, because I knew Kanye probably when you was still in your daddy's love sack. I knew what Kanye was about back in 03, 02, back when he was working on Blueprint for Jay-Z back in 2000, when everybody thought the world was coming to an end, when they thought, what was that called? When they thought that the internet was going to crash and the whole world was going to stop in 1999, when the clock was supposed to hit 1 and all the computers were, I knew about Ye back then. Back when his first album was leaked as a mixtape, and everybody had his album on repeat in the hood already before Rockefeller even got a chance to release it, and they had to redo quite a few of the songs. And he had the original Lauryn Hill sample on When It All Falls Down, which is what the hood really fell in love when he had to replace Lauryn Hill when she refused to clear the sample. That's the Kanye I know. The revolutionary Kanye, the Kanye that was about to really be the next coming of Tupac, the real Kanye that we really thought was on our side. Kanye was a man of the people. I don't know this new guy who damn near need to just put a leash on his new wife because she doesn't say a word. She just walks around with her titties out and just half naked, like pasties on her boot. She don't say a word. She just, that's what he wanted though. I feel like I cannot listen to a man whose message is as confusing and as diluted as this person that I'm seeing. This weirdo that's going around with no shoes on and trying to sell me a long ass pair of basketball socks or compression socks, calling them Yeezy pods. I cannot relate to this person. I cannot relate to this man who has 51 songwriters on an album. 51 producers, 41 songwriters, 20 features. I cannot relate to this person that I have before me with a big gold block of something in his mouth. He can barely talk, with his haircut looking crazy. Old Kanye would never, let's be honest, he would never have his hair looking this crazy. Never. He would never wear these holy raggedy clothes and say that this is fashion. Let's just be honest. He would never wear a White Lives Matter shirt. I don't know who this guy is. And then you got to debate it. You got to debate with a guy why he can't wear a White Lives Matter shirt. The fact that we got a guy who thinks it's okay, a black man in America from Chicago, that thinks he can wear a White Lives Matter shirt. That part, I don't got to explain to you. If I got to explain to you, you're part of the problem. And I'm not going to waste my time explaining why a black man don't need to be wearing a White Lives Matter shirt. I don't have to, and I'm not going to. Right? My heroes would never do that. And I ask myself, I'm like, some people going to click this, right? And they're going to hear me talking about Kanye. And they're going to be like, what's this dude's problem? Kanye can say what he want to say. He can be what he want to say. Why does he care? Well, you obviously care because you clicked the video. So let's get into it. I feel like my heroes, which Kanye used to be in that lane. I can't take nothing away from the music he's done. I can't take nothing away from his former projects, right? Kanye is heavy. His first 3 albums in a row. Classics. I'll debate anybody. All of Kanye's first 3 albums are classics. College Dropout, Late Registration, Graduation. I don't know who is going to tell you those are not classics, but they're wrong. I'm just going to keep it a buck with you. You're wrong if you don't think those 3 albums are classics. But I say that to say this. With a man with such great potential, and when he dropped 808s and Heartbreaks, it was game changing. It was genre bending, and I know a lot of people who liked it. Most people like me that's into straight up hip hop, for lack of a better word, didn't jive with 808s and Heartbreaks. A lot of people did, but they're into more eclectic stuff. I'm into a lot of eclectic stuff, but I don't like when my rappers try to be something else, right? And just like when Common dropped Electric Circus, I couldn't rock with it. I'm sorry. I couldn't rock with it. Some stuff is done well. Some stuff is done like, I'm just experimenting, guys. Just flow with me on this. Like, no. Be confident with your shit. Like Andre 3000, when he dropped his, right? The Love Below, it was like, this is me. I'm doing this. But you already knew Dre had that in him. Most of the Love Below is singing. It's experimental music. But it was good. It didn't sound like somebody who was uncomfortable with what they're doing. Right? And 808 and Heartbreaks, after I grew the singles are dope. Like 2 or 3 of the singles that he dropped changed the game. Right. The music changed. But that's when Kanye started to want to be a pop star. And he became one. Right? But as it started to go, My Dark Twisted Fantasy, that's another considerable classic, right? You could say I wouldn't argue you down if you tried to say it was a classic. Now, Life of Pablo is when it got kind of funky for Ye. I liked Life of Pablo, but I'm going to be honest, it did not age well. I was a very big champion of Life of Pablo. Then when I went back and listened, I think maybe 2 weeks ago, I went back and listened, and I literally skipped 80% of that album. I literally skipped 80% of the album because I realized now that I'm looking back at it, Life of Pablo was where you started to see the flaws in Ye. Because when he dropped Life of Pablo, I don't know if you remember how much remixing and retouching and changing. Wolves sounds like this now. Oh, he just changed Wolves again for the 3rd time. Like, it was unsure. It wasn't confident Kanye at all. It was stumbling through the releases, and then when he released it, he's changing music as it's on you already got it. I know my Pablo list changed as I'm listening to this is when Tidal was big. Released it only on Tidal. The track listing, was changing, and certain songs were being removed, and he's still tinkering with it. I'm like, what's going on, bro? Back in the day, you got the CD, that was it. It wasn't no changing and tinkering and And I started to get really, really annoyed with that. I don't like the philosophy of you changing music as it's being released to the world. Some people may say, oh, that's new. Just like the stem player, when he brought the stem player out, and it was like, you can remix it, Who bought that? Like, really, who bought the stem player? I'm sure a lot of people bought it, but do you still use it? Do you feel like an asshole that you bought that? I don't think nothing else. What else can you do with it? Please, somebody in the comments, tell me what you can do with that Kanye stem player, where you were supposed to be able to rearrange the tracks and move the stems and move them all over Are you still using that thing? And that thing cost a grip too, couple hundred. That thing was a mean, it was a mean play. And that's what I mean by it became more of a popularity contest than a quality contest. He's selling stem players that are only good for nothing, right? In my opinion. Somebody in the comments tell me where that stem player is at today. Where's your stem player? Did you lose it? Did you sell it on eBay? Like, novelty stuff, right? And I started thinking, like, Challz, how could you explain this without even getting onto all the politics, the anti-Semitic stuff and the stuff about, which I really didn't like. I started to detest a lot of the things this guy, the Trump hat, the saying that Harriet Tubman didn't really free the slaves, she just took them into another, to work somewhere else. It's goofy stuff. Slavery was a choice. That stuff separated me from Kanye forever. But even outside of that, right? All of the just dancing and shucking and just all over the place. The biggest problem I have with Kanye, like all of the political stuff, the racist stuff, I can't stand how he plays with racism and he plays with he has Nick Fuentes and all these people. It's just goofy stuff that really my heroes wouldn't do, right? And when I thought about if I got to explain to somebody what's my heroes, I learned that my heroes don't do a lot of talking. Like my heroes are like Nas, Jay-Z, Dr. Dre, Rakim, right? KRS-One for all intensive purposes, right? My heroes, when they talk, it's going to be beneficial to the people. Not just black people, it's going to be beneficial to the people. It's going to be knowledge for you. And I don't feel like you ranting on and on about another race of people is knowledge for me. I think you need to be talking about what we doing, right? Not having Twitter explosions, not screenshotting people's text messages to you, private text messages to you, and not being super disloyal. My heroes are extremely loyal to the people they deserve to be loyal to. I've seen Kanye rip up every relationship in the last 10 years. Everyone. There's almost no one still around him. Almost none. Kid Cudi, Pusha T. Most of these guys they can't be in a room with this guy. Right? Only person really rocking with Kanye is Consequence, because that's it. He knows where his bread is buttered. But the entire team has been removed. And I don't know who's around this guy, but it ain't our hip-hop greats. It ain't our legends. And let's be honest, most of the people around Kanye in these writing these studio sessions, these things where they're all these 51 writers, these are new guys trying to stay relevant or trying to be relevant. Let's be honest. These guys don't have legendary history. Let's be honest. Show me the legend. The legendary that's on Kanye's level. Nobody is on Kanye's level in these. None of them. You don't see him with Jay-Z up on this wing like, yeah, no one of that cloth is in these sessions. It's a lot of young guys. A lot of guys scared to tell him no. A lot of guys scared to bark on him, right? He's not even going to have you around. Let's just be honest. Do me a favor. Read all the names on here. All the songwriters and producers. Where the legends at? Where are the no IDs? Where's the Dr. Dre? They're not going to no Kanye camp for no. They don't need to. And they don't want to touch this goofiness with a 10-foot pole. So the reason I didn't listen to, I'm being honest, I did click for the culture. I watched the video because he hasn't made a video in years. Probably since Watch the Throne. Just do it. Oh no, the video with You're such a fucking hoe. I love it. With this kid, this little goofy kid, right? He made a video with him. But other than that, Kanye doesn't really do music videos. I don't think he did any videos for, last 2 albums. But he did the video with his daughter, and I wanted to see it. So I watched that video. I thought it was a great video. His daughter did a great job. I really liked that video. I enjoyed the video. I enjoyed the visuals of it. He didn't even rap. He didn't really say anything on the video, if I'm not mistaken. And I enjoyed the video. But outside of that, I would never listen to this Vultures album. I absolutely refuse to waste my time on something that's going to almost certainly be trash. And it's no disrespect to Nicki Minaj, but I'm not listening to that either because I'm almost certain that that's going to be a bunch of filler, a bunch of chasing pop numbers, and a bunch of trash. Nothing really real. And it's not nothing against Nicki. I like Nicki Minaj. You know what I'm saying? But I'm not going to be just listening to people chase, old ass people chase young people's emotions and young people's dollars. I don't listen to that. All right. I need you to be real. Like we're grown, bro. I don't want to hear you chasing these young people around, trying to catch up with them and trying to do what they want you to do. You got a fan that's 22 and you trying to make music. I don't even care. I don't even care. And it's a lot of people like me. That's why rap music sales are down. A lot of people don't care that we want to hear grown-up stuff. We want to hear Mr. Morale and the Big Steppers, right? We just want to hear grown-up music. If you're in therapy, say that. Say that, Ghost. Say that. If you a drug dealer, ex-drug dealer, whatever, say that. I don't want to hear the goofiness about partying and popping X all day. I don't care. That's not my lifestyle. I don't care. I need real music. So I feel like if I put on this album, if I put on Vultures, I'm going to hear a whole lot of nothing, and I'm going to hear a whole lot of rhymes and words that are not indicative of this man because it's too many people writing. I cannot listen to an album when there's so many different hands in it that wrote. I don't know if any of this is real. To me, I'm going to be honest with you. And yes, we listened to Dr. Dre, and he wasn't writing none of this stuff. But it felt right. If it was indicative, the music matched what he was saying on his verses. You believed Dr. Dre. And for a time, you believed Kanye. But when you say all this other stuff about the Jewish people and all this stuff about your own people, I cannot take your music serious no more. I don't care who wrote it. If you don't stand for nothing in your real life, then I'm not going to sit there and waste 35 minutes, 40 minutes of you saying other people's words just to get a bag. You cannot make this stuff better by just throwing out an album when you're not addressing the stuff, right? To me, I feel like a lot of agendas were pushed by Ye that I really don't agree with. So I'm definitely not going to support you. Yes, the album went #1. He may or may not get nominated for some Grammys behind it. He may or may not. That's up in the air. I don't think he will, but he may get nominated for some Grammys. He may, I doubt it very seriously, if he ends up on that stage. For any reason, I do not see a Kanye winning any kind of award. So Kanye might be done out here as far as awards and accolades, but who knows? This is a weird time. People forgive a lot of weird stuff. We'll see what happens. I don't ever see me fully listening to Kanye because as a hip-hop head, I gotta kind of believe you. I don't care who wrote it. I gotta believe you. Right? I believe that Drake is doing what he says he's doing. And I have no problem with Drake music. But when I want to hear something, when I'm getting in the shower, I want to go and vibe out, I just vibe out differently. I like Drake when I'm in social settings. When I'm at a club, it's Drake. Every third song better be Drake, or I'm leaving. Right? Put it on. I just want to hear it. He makes music for that zone. When I'm in the club, they got hookah, they got shots. Put some Drake. Put some reggaeton. Put some Bad Bunny. Let's go. Right? But when I'm in my car or I'm at home or I want to get to the essence of life, I'm not going to put on Drake. I'm definitely not putting on Kanye. I got to kind of believe what you're saying. And part of hip hop is being real. I don't think that Kanye is a real person anymore. I think that Kanye has become a fabrication of what he was supposed to be. But let me know what you think. I know I rambled on, but let me know what you think of the Vultures album. I really will be watching the comments to see what people say because I really want to know, is it trash? And who knows? Maybe you could convince me to hear it. I don't think so, though. CLBMG, head over there. Every Wednesday night we do the What Show on all platforms of CLBMG, on my platforms. Every Monday night we got the Old Heads Only. That's another talk show. And then we got the Mixdown every Tuesday. CLBMG. I'm going to catch you on the flip side. Peace.
CLB.